Hey there, guys and girls. This is your good old Uncle Christian over here. Now, you're about to, pretty much listen to the same CSN report, but this is the 1.5 edition. You're asking yourself right now, why this particular edition is special compared to the original one? Well, glad you ask. Now, originally, this particular version was, supposed to be up when, the other one came up. Audio wise, it's practically the same thing. But for those who know, Nick pretty much did the audio editing of this particular episode, and he also did the whole video editing too, where he put a bunch of pictures, but another pretty cool bunch of pictures. He put in each one in each separate kind of topic where we're going to talk about. And you still keep asking, it's cool and all, and I wouldn't mind seeing that, but how come this never got released? So, see, originally, like I said, this was supposed to be uploaded just how the other ones uploaded, but they never came about. Reason why is because, see, for some reason with Nick's computer, it kept on as he would put it, it kept doing updates, and I guess will restart itself, and that never came about. So instead, it's what I'll make just an image of your CSN report, and just kind of slap it on with the audio, and whenever we can, this shall be this particular version will be uploaded. So but he finally got it to render it, so everything is fine. And now, you're about to listen to this particular version, where, see, you know how, in the original, the intro just an intro? Well, this particular intro, I kind of made myself, and made all cool and whatnot. So, sit back and relax, I guess you can watch or listen to however you feel like it, and like I say, enjoy the show. And one other thing to mention that I think I already said, but sorry for repeating myself again. Nick shall be the one who's going to do editing for the CSN report. I will still be handling Dr. Netflix, and I guess whatever comes ahead. But as for CSN report, Nick is the editor, except for the one that's coming out next week. But overall, this is Nick editing through and through. And like I said, I hope you all enjoy.
Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to our live podcast. This is your host, Saul.
I'm the fat boy Christian. Woo! And today,
and also the fabulous Nicholas, who happened to show up tonight, willing to give up his critique and also reviews if he ever has any.
So hey Nick, why such an intro since pretty much me and Saul already done a little intro.
Why don't you explain yourself, right now?
Okay, well, I heard your first podcast and questioning whether I want to be part of this one, but I'm going to go ahead and join in on this.
Take a swig at it, basically, man.
Nicholas, you already mentioned that I'm Italian, and
you're mixed
there's
with
some sort of panderings about me being a Nazi.
That was actually not me. That was actually not me.
The highest class of Americans, and that's pretty low bar to begin with, so.
Well, of course, basically, this is like so far.
Non-void.
Yes, everybody, despite who they are.
Nobody cares who I am either.
You haven't noticed by now, I'm the
S or C.S.N.
Shit. Hold on. I'm sorry, guys. Give me a second. Nothing I can do. I guess gotta reboot the whole thing. And hopefully this time be a little more frequent. Here we go. Ready and go. Ah! Fuck! Ugh. Shit, god damn it, son of a bitch. Try one more time. I think it needs fucking hammer. Okay. Now one more time. Think we can do this. Okay. Time for big hole and reboot. Hello everyone, welcome to CSN Report. I'm your host, Chris Alonso, and with me are my two other co-hosts.
Nicholas Vagnoni, here to serve.
Saul Diaz de Leon.
Huzzah!
Good job.
We did
Shut up.
it! We did it! We came back after 3 years.
Oh, it's not 3 years, it's 2.5, sir.
It's been a while. Let's just leave it at that.
I want to know, how are all doing tonight around? Oh god.
After 3 years pass.
After, right now we're, it's close to 3 in the morning.
Well, you know what? I'm just gonna say, let's see, like, come on, it's been 3 years since we last actually hanged out again. So, pretty much to see, like, what's wrong with a little small catch-up, especially with something that was so abrupt.
Yes.
And blunt.
Yes, after 3 years, and what we said we were going to do the last time, I forgot.
All of us did, alright?
Yeah, no, we couldn't even find our original channel for this.
Or even our recordings. Let's just say a lot of technical problems we had.
Technically, we're all a bunch of lazy shits that didn't commit to it. We're all working, schooling.
Let's just say this, we have lives.
We have lives, and then we forgot because we have ADHD. And then we came back.
Oh, yeah? I thought you were the only one who has ADD.
No, I have ADD.
You do?
Yeah. I take the Ritalin and everything. Back before it was cool.
News to me.
These college students now, they take Ritalin and they think they're so hip. I was doing it back when you needed a medication or a dang prescription for it, and it wasn't on the pop drug market. You couldn't just go down to Jose at the corner and he give you, I got some Ritalin for your mom.
Oh, good for you! Good for you!
Oh, yeah.
What are you talking about? I said, Jose's my fucking barber here. He's the one who cuts my hair every day. Jeez.
Yes, your Uncle Jose.
So? At least he provides.
Okay.
So yeah, after 3 long years.
I think you said too many longs.
It's 3 years, 3 longs.
So now we're, just getting it back in the gist of things, and we're going to start with what we're into right now. As in, what are reading the books lately, or comics, or playing video games whatsoever, watching the movies. That's the one in theaters. That comes later on. Or have we been watching any TV shows?
Well, pretty much see, like, if we want to talk about the trailers, but later. I might as well just start it off.
That's later. That's later.
I might as well just start it off right now anyway for me. See, like, honestly, I'm excited for, let's see, Constantine coming out later down this year. And also Gotham. And also hearing news reports about, let's see, The Flash coming out. So, those are the only ones to see. I'm hyped, and I'm ready for to see. Then we'll talk about TV shows only. Not only that, let's see, also including, let's see, Batman, Arkham Knight, trailer 2 is already out on YouTube. It's been out for a couple days right now, at the moment right now. I'm excited for the game. It comes out, let's see, later this year, holiday. So, Yeah, people who have PS4 or Xbox One. Good for you, fuckers. I hate you all.
Really? I don't. I don't care. I don't care at the moment.
I have the current last gen. That's the reason why.
Oh, boo-hoo. Boo frickety frackety fucking who. You have a PS3. My most advanced operational console is my PlayStation 2.
I thought I was going to say Atari.
2600.
No, and that's not even really mine. I got that little Xbox that took a crap on me.
To be fair, the most advanced thing you have is a rock.
Oh yeah, I thought it was that Pentium 2 processor desktop he has.
That too.
Are you kidding?
Running with a 16-bit VGA card. They could barely run StarCraft.
It really can barely run StarCraft.
Well, anything else that's going on with you right now, Saul?
Anything else? Let's see. What else is there besides me having a life and actually being rejoiced of actually rejoining this group again?
Well, has anything been into? Have you read anything lately? Have you watched a movie that's not in movie theaters right now?
Well, recently I happened to watch the Amazing Spider-Man 2 last week.
No. That's for later on.
Really?
Yes, really.
You're gonna throw me under the bus like that?
I say that's later on. God damn it! Just like
We're leaving the movie stuff for later. It's on the list.
All right, fine. I'll take that. I mean, honestly, no. I have not recently been doing anything for entertainment-wise at all. I mean, let's say besides to see me going to work, I actually trying to go back to schooling, and also, well, of course, I see also my average hour or two of gaming. That's about it. That's the only thing I've been doing. I mean, let's see, like, there were a couple of occasions I've been trying to get into the local tournaments they can for Street Fighter or any type of fighting game tournament I can find, but that's about it. Nothing else. No luck, but hey, dreamers can dream.
Well, that sounds good. Nick, how about you?
Oh, I've been doing a few things. I mean, I actually did just see like 2 movies in the last 2 months, which are the only movies I've seen in like the last year. So I'm really getting up there, really getting out there, partying.
Ooh.
Oh yes. Right now I'm actually
You're partying like a 69-year-old.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess you could say that.
Yeah, partying like it's 1968.
Oh, he's really joking.
Apparently, I shouldn't be making fun of old people right now. Right now, I'm just working into the 3rd book of the Black Fleet Crisis of the Star Wars series. It was one of the earlier book series to come out of the expanded universe. We had, 2 of the books of this series. I read the previous series, the Jedi Academy series, which I absolutely adored. It also had a 4th book that was tie-in by my favorite writer, Michael Stackpole, I believe his name's, called I, Jedi, which is a totally different format that I've seen for many other Star Wars books, which I just absolutely love that book. The thing I like with Star Wars, and apparently a lot of people don't, is like I like political intrigue. I mean, there's a previous book, Cloak of Deception by James Luceno. This was an excellent book. I loved it. It actually takes place just before Episode 1, and it gives you all sorts of really interesting lead-ins to Episode 1. And you actually see how Viceroy Newt Gunray comes into power and just exactly what kind of a slime ball Netamoidians really are. You see how it becomes so easy for Palpatine to take over the chancellorship of the Old Republic because he's secretly laid a lot of works in. And you get to see Qui-Gon Jinn being a badass motherfucker, which we didn't have enough of in the first film. I mean, Liam Neeson is awesome, but he dies, and that's it was nice to have just a little bit more of him, even though it was in a book.
Do you hear that? That does sound a little tiny violin playing for Dick.
Anyhow, but
Oh, you're
no,
not done yet?
I just wanted to make a note about this series, which isn't quite as good as the last two previous series. I mean, I've heard a lot of good about Heir to the Empire series, but this one, it starts off with Luke just being that good old-fashioned Skywalker, whiny little bitch.
So, the prequels, what you say?
Yeah, and he's behaving a little bit like Anakin in episode 3 in this. Like, he's got some parts where he's calm, and then there's some parts where like, okay, calm the fuck down, Jedi Master. So stop one.
But Nick, that's the good parts, isn't it? Keep on throwing
But I'm enjoying the books right now, and right now what I've been just for some reason into these last little while is I've been expanding my areas, and I'm getting back into anime a little more. I mean, there's a lot more stuff that's out right now, and I try not to go for the mainstream stuff, but I've looked at some stuff I've been putting off. I mean, there's one called Sekirei that it's basically, if you've ever seen the Ikaku Townsend or Iki Townsend series, it's basically that and Pokemon. It's basically Pokemon, except it's not, instead of Pokemon, it's
Women.
it's women fighting each other with superpowers, and they frequently and regularly get naked.
Can't tell, does this sound awesome? Dumb.
It's both, actually. I mean, the first few episodes are a little tough to take. Like, oh, really? You're a fist type. Oh, why does that sound familiar? Oh, that one's a water type, and that one's a plant type.
Wait, one is a fist type?
Yeah, that's literally the main girl's, she calls herself, I'm a fist type Sekirei. Like,
So she does all that fisting, what you're saying.
hey! Absolutely. No, but it's one of those where it's like, oh my god, this is so doofy, but it's amusing. And it actually has gotten a little bit better. I also got into the one that's very popular, and it's all over Facebook right now for some fucking reason.
Attack on Titan, Attack on Titan, Attack on Titan.
No, the other one that's all over, Kill a Kill.
Oh, I kind of heard of that. I'm like,
it's those are the creators from Gurren Lagann.
Oh, really? I didn't notice.
Well, I'm not talking about you. I'm giving the info for the Christian who doesn't realize it.
Yeah, but it really is like a I've heard the joke before that Kill a Kill is like a female Gurren Lagann, and
so do they?
Yes.
Do they pierce the heavens?
Not yet. Not as far as I've watched into it, but there's another one that I haven't checked out yet, but I probably will. It's called like Watamote or something, and it's like, I don't want to watch it, but I will. And Attack on Titan, I watched the whole thing, or the whole first season. I'm like, okay, these guys did a really good job. I mean, it's definitely going to be a mainstream one, but you know what? It's interesting. I mean, it's kind of like they kill off a lot of the characters in it. A lot. Like, have 10 characters.
Gee, it kind of reminds me of the Game of Thrones.
Yeah, that's essentially it. It's Game of Thrones, except they like jump into that character killing right away. No, you know what it's a better comparison to? Lost, as far as character killing goes. Like, here's some characters. Dead.
You know the microphone can hear that.
It still kills the motherfuckers out of nowhere. Like, it can. I mean, it's one of those. But you know what? I look forward to the second season. Have you seen it, Saul?
I've seen the entire series already. I'm still waiting for when the second season is announced. I mean, hell, I could say this: see, Funimation already have the English dub coming out for Toonami as we speak.
Yeah, it's already they got like the first and second episode out, I think.
Yeah, first and second episode right now. Last since I noticed, that's the only thing I know. The only info I have.
In a nutshell, I'm checking out some more anime right now. I usually stick with the more ones that you're not a little less familiar with, obscure anime, but they're there. So I'm watching them and I'm enjoying them. I'll get into more of them a little bit later, but those are a couple I want to highlight right now.
Right.
Christian, by all means, here have this. Here's a talking stick.
Yay! I got the talking stick. Ooh. So
oh God, what are we? Are we 5?
Yes.
No, you remember we actually used to do the talking stick. No, back in the other group.
Oh yeah,
way back.
Yeah, now you guys remember. And if you talked while someone had the stick, you got whacked in the head with it.
Oh yeah, I think you're the only one who actually enjoyed doing that.
I'm the only one that enjoyed it. Really?
I'm just saying.
Nobody else enjoyed it but me. I'm the one that. I'm sure.
Because the only thing I'm saying is because the fact that we're starting someone just keeps interrupting it. That's it.
Well, it was my idea, so.
Alright, so pretty much, let's see, what do you think?
I'll grant it, yeah, I was a bastard, I created
ladies,
okay, yes,
I think that was my turn.
What are you talking about? See, like, it was nobody's turn.
God damn it, Saul.
Alright, whatever, just go ahead.
I want to start with video games that I got into, recently, there's something I actually got into, which is the first Assassin's Creed. And it's not bad. It's actually good, but my problem with it is it's too stiff. It did the controls are too stiff. That's how I actually meant. It could, after like a while, you did kind of get used to it, but it's. I had some enjoyment out of it, kind of. Another thing too, I didn't really enjoy that much, which is the combat controls. It feels like more of a rock paper scissors as you push like one button like over and over. I'm like,
kind of like Pokemon.
But see, the difference is between like this and that is like, see, with Pokemon, this is actually a little more, I guess you could say,
diverse.
Yeah.
There's different types, different power levels, different effects.
And also, you can like I won't say the word cheat, but you can at least give like your Pokemon whatever. Like you can give this for a little more like accuracy. You can give this for a little more attack power.
Items.
Yeah, bullshit.
Yes.
MacGuffins.
Yeah, there you go. Alright, just with this one, like, it wasn't bad, like, after, I think, the first couple hours to get used to it, but I wasn't really too satisfied with it overall. I'm like, oh, I guess you get this weapon after, doing this. Huzzah. It was just okay overall. And then now I'm really into Deus Ex Human Revolution. I know I am so caught up with all these video games. Not really. But yeah. Now I'm actually playing Deus Ex Human Revolution, and I'm really enjoying the hell out of it. I guess maybe because I'm more the mindset of the RPG at the very moment. So that could be something. And I love it the hell out of it, Deus Ex.
Well, that's how Deus Ex runs. It is a first-person CRPG game. That's pretty much the best way I can say it. But yeah, the combat's pretty much diverse, but it hails heavily a lot on stealth. That's the only thing I can say.
I don't use stealth at all. I don't. Sometimes I do, but sometimes I say, "What? I don't give two shits. I got this fucking shotgun. What I'm gonna do with this fucking shotgun? Shove it in some motherfucking ass."
No, I gotta get with Christian on that. Like, you have a lot of games and stealth can be fun, but like sometimes you're like, oh, I don't. Fuck it, I just want to shoot some shit. I got a shooter so I could shoot some shit. Why do I have to hide?
Your voice is cracking. Again.
Yeah.
And another thing too, but it's something I've been.
Well, it's more like this. See, like best expression I could say is I'm John Rambo. I'm gonna fuck some shit.
Fuck yeah! Like I swear, I was, but like it does take a little more thinking to it, because like it was like one of the what was it? It was like one of the things that were like, oh, these bunch of fucking army, these cop guys are gonna come and they have all these heavy weapon shit. I went over there like, let's do. I got killed. Fuck. Let's try it again. Let's do. I got killed. Fuck. What I'm doing wrong over here? Oh wait, I can just cover over here in this top level and just wait until this motherfucker just stop shooting. Oh, well, huh. I think I like that a bit of a most where it does take a lot. It does take a little more thinking. I do kind of really like that where I guess I'm not really much into the first person shooters. I guess so. I guess it could be me just like no. Maybe I take this other route. Yeah, I think it's a little bit better. And speaking of RPGs, been playing Pokemon Heart Gold. I know I'm so late to everything. But I've been wanting to play Heart Gold for a big while because that was my favorite generation of Pokemon.
You mean Gen 2 is your favorite?
I agree. I got stuck on Silver, and it was like I literally like maxed the clock out like multiple times over. I mean,
Wait, and also we should have a moment of silence because let's see, Nintendo Wii's network just went down as of yesterday.
Oh yeah. Dun, dun,
I still don't get this. Like, why did that happen?
It was because of GameSpy, really. Let's see, GameSpy. It was because of GameSpy. GameSpy, let's see, was pretty much they're the ones who shut down the servers. That also includes, let's see, the Nintendo Wii servers also being shut down.
So are they going to be bringing them back?
I mean, I'm hearing.
Nintendo's got the cash, right?
I'm hearing like not too much news about everything else with that because see, Wii owners, DS owners. I don't have too much info about it, but I'm hearing those servers won't be coming back. But however, the Wii U however the Wii U network will continue to be running on. So whoever's going to be having fun with Mario Kart 8 next week, good for you. And also for Smash Bros.
So basically, all the games that people have already bought for
the 3DS and also
3DS
and Wii U will still be running.
Okay, so it's not.
No. I mean for the ones that they haven't gotten updates. And like, okay, you're just gonna have to do with the original downloads. I mean, kind of a dick move. I mean,
I can't. To be honest, I can't really be defending or be against it because GameSpy had I think they had their rights for the rights had already been expired, and then they didn't have the money to actually do it, so they had no choice but to shut them down.
Right now,
and also, I think there's also like a little court dispute. I'm just talking on my ass on this one, but I think there's a court dispute between EA and GameSpy about it. So that's one thing to think about.
Oh lordy.
And trying to think of anything else. Oh yes, for some comics, I finished JLA, written by Grant Morrison. And I thought for a second it was gonna be fucking crazy ass Grant Morrison smelling his fucking paint thinners and doing some cocaine and like okay. But actually, from what I've heard of, is before his crazy days, and it actually was really good. I kept wondering like, okay, I'm working from crazy shit. I worked from some crazy shit, and I guess you see the closest crazy shit there was where it was like these angels, and like one of the angels, I guess he became mortal, and like the other angel like, oh, we're gonna kill you because, well, you know stuff. And then all of a sudden, it fucking like, it's a big fucking battle cruiser out of fucking nowhere. That's our chariot. That's a fucking chariot. Get the fuck out of here. Fucking the Star Destroyer just came out of nowhere. But overall, like the stories were actually pretty solid. I can name the two best ones, at least the volume one I read. If I okay, one of them was the JLA recruiting. Okay, who recruiting? This female superhero who called herself what the fuck was it? It was like it was a so fucking stupid name. I can really remember. But apparently, like she's an android and working with like these two mad scientist dudes, and and pretty much, and if I can recall, and it's like probably one of the best moments in that entire in that issue or in that story is when like she became so self-revolved that what pretty much one of the scientists go like, ha, like he literally says like, yeah, I'm better at you, because they had like this dick sizing scientist bullshit where one of them goes like, I'm a better scientist than you. No, I'm a better scientist than you because I created this android. So I created this android. And at the end, like this one scientist is like, I am so great that my own android was very self-aware that she took her own life. And that's when she became a superhero.
Wait, what?
And she took
My android's so good she committed suicide.
no. I meant shit. Fuck me.
Yeah, I think Christian, you need to reread the entire series again.
But I meant
just for you to recall everything in your head, because see, right now
I'm running on the same. I know.
Yeah.
What I meant from as in she didn't take her own life. She sacrificed herself for for the greater good of the team. But she was self-aware that she know that like she knows she was the android working for like the evil mad scientist. So she pretty much sacrificed her own life in order to help out the Justice League because of this one crisis. Another one that actually was really good, and it was actually kind of self-aware, and it was like a own kind of Elseworld kind of tale, but not exactly. It's when this one dude calls himself, he's like this evil villain, calls himself the Key, which is a lame ass villain name, I know. And pretty much
What's his power? Is he able to unlock locks?
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And
I can do that too. It's called tapping a lock or picking a lock. I must be a supervillain too.
But I gotta say God damn it. But he himself alone, like he knocked out all the Justice League. He put him like in some kind of crisis sleeping, so that way his plan was to like unlock like this ultra universe keyhole bullshit, basically Kingdom Hearts. But through this, like the whole Justice League got to go through these entire dreams, and each one was
this whole segment of you talking about that, it just reminds me of Dream Drop Distance. I don't know why, but it sounds exactly like that.
You thought I was stammering, or stammering.
God damn it! Hush.
I'm just saying. Let's see, the entire segment you're giving off. Let's see, is Dream Drop Distance in a nutshell. I'm like, can you keep going? Because let's see, I like this parody. I'd give you a round of applause for that.
Let's see, like with like Batman Dream, like he married to Selena Kyle and Tim Drake. It's like the new Batman, and they have a kid who's Robin, and they call him Bruce Jr. I'm like, that's funny. He actually gonna have a kid named Damien. And he's gonna die and gonna come back. Huzzah!
Oh wow, they're going to kill a character off and then bring him back. DC never does anything like that.
I know, right? And then let's see, there was Wonder Woman where it's actually a big shout out to like the 70s. I want to say the 70s Wonder Woman, where she had no superpowers. She was with Steve Trevor, and she knows karate. And that was kind of cool. And it was with Aquaman. Apparently, God damn it! I forgot the hell Aquaman was. Not because he's useless, damn it. So I was giving that look like he was useless.
Well, of course, he wants to summon whales into the major city.
Now I remember, it was the whole
Whales!
Whales! You. Now I remember, like the whole Earth was like the whole entire Earth was flooded, and pretty much he was being all the savior.
Kind of a dick.
No, he's actually was like he pretty much see himself as like this big hero and whatnot. And for Superman, apparently he was Green Lantern.
What?
Apparently, Superman dreamed like he was living on Krypton, and he was Green Lantern.
Huh.
Yeah, and Oh yeah, and Flash but like Flash's dream was like the best. Apparently, like he was the fastest man alive, mostly. Like apparently, like some alien terrestrial thing got onto him, and apparently been leaking out, and everybody else is fast as he is. So like I guess that each time he got to go and help out people. Like, wait, stop. But yeah, like those are pretty good. Let's see, now I'm starting to read DC's New Frontier, which is pretty much Darren's Cook big tribute to the Silver Age of DC. And so far, I'm really enjoying it. I love the art style because Darren Cook is an amazing artist. Yes, I said that. Like it reminds me so much of Bruce Timm's art style in the Batman animated series a lot. I think it was called Art Deco. Yeah, there we go. And can't think of anything else to say. I think that's about it.
Okay, what an awkward way how to actually end a segment, but
Okay, what's next?
all right.
Oh wait, TV shows. Just real quick, I've been watching Agent and Shield, and yeah, now I'm up to like where it's like I kind of cross over with Thor. That's about it. And now on to movie reviews. Yay!
Once again, awkward way to actually start and end a segment here.
Okay,
I'm just gonna say that.
What are we gonna go on to first? I mean,
let's see. A lot of movies did come out this year, especially shitty ones back in January. But let's start off with some movies we actually did see during this year at this moment before the major summer ones come out.
okay, I mean, the first one I think me and Christian want to get off is we both have seen the new Godzilla film. Like,
Are you sure? Let's see. I thought you guys went to go see. Captain America: Winter Soldier.
I saw that one too, actually.
Me too.
Yeah.
And also, I do want to make a big disclaimer here. This is going to be spoiler filled. Sorry.
Okay, let's try to keep this. Are we really going to go that much into the spoilers? I mean, like, what the thing about the Godzilla film is, like, it pays a great tribute to the originals. It's a great homage, and the thing is, a Godzilla film is a Godzilla film. You have a bad monster, a good monster, and a handful of people around that are chilling Godzilla. Yay, you go, Godzilla!
Well, actually, I want to say it paid tribute to the Shawa. Pretty much like the original like Godzilla is paying tribute to Godzilla that was rebooted and came back around the 80s. And I do kind of want to say a bit of the mammalian era. I mean, the 2000 era of Godzilla movies. I want to say, but I think it's paying more to tribute to more the classic and the 80s Godzilla movies.
Well, the thing is, the original, the first Godzilla film was actually sort of a metaphor. I mean, Godzilla itself originated as a metaphor for nuclear disaster, nuclear explosion, and it came from the only people that are really qualified to talk about how awful having a nuclear weapon used on you is, like the Japanese, because at that time there were still a lot of people that were drastically affected from the effects of the two bombs we dropped, and like it basically said, like, this is something that just rolls in out of nowhere, kills, destroys.
And I gotta say, for the effects at that time, and if you watch it, it's a very haunting scene where it was like a bunch of choir girls like singing, and then you see like this entire footage of like destruction of like Tokyo, I want to say, and it's so haunting, so visual. It actually kind of looked like the actual bombing of Japan, really.
Yeah, that's what it was going after, and that's when you hear about that, it's like, wow, it's like there's some real depth behind Godzilla, and then you see the movies that follow, like, oh, never mind. Like, okay, monsters fighting each other. Let's go for that.
Hey.
But it shows that it has a little bit of a pedigree of some brain cells, however awful some of the sequels following may have came. And I do include our first remake in that. Like, oh, lordy.
If you ever get a chance to watch Godzilla Final Wars, it's one of the best like Godzilla movies where it pretty much is like a remake of Destroy All Monsters, and it's like a one part where it's like Godzilla versus 1998 Godzilla, and guess who won?
Godzilla.
Yes, 1998 American version. Fucking Godzilla whips into the fucking some opera house bullshit and blasts his ass.
Yeah, but I think in order to really appreciate this new one, I mean, you really do have to go back and look, because the Japanese have actually, there has been some compliments from them, like, yeah, you did a good job. Like, yeah, your Godzilla's a little bulky, and there are Japanese women say, oh, he's so cool.
But the way I kind of look at it, like, it looks like, I want to say the way of Godzilla look in this particular, I want to say reboot, he actually, he looked like what I would imagine the actual rubber suit would look like in, I guess you could say, quote unquote, real life. If Godzilla were real, quote unquote.
Yeah, I mean, they put some real effort into it when designing this monster, and you really can see it. Like, yeah, some people have said that it's big and fat. Well, what do you expect a giant, big, walking nuclear monster to be like? Like, a lot of big reptiles and are really fat. If you've ever seen a Komodo dragon, like, they got big ass stomachs. But so you know what? They did a really good job. I mean, and if you look back, you look back to the 1998 one, like, oh, like, it's first off, the special effects have not aged well. Like, you look back and watch it, like, oh god,
it was a product of its time.
No, you get no excuses. Jurassic Park can still today not only hold its own as far as special effects, but can even still beat a lot of special effects we produce today, even with the more advanced cameras, because people put a lot of effort and work and really paid attention to detail. And that came out, that was the first stepping stone of real computer-generated animation in live-action films, and they did a glorious job, and they actually have created an industry now that relies more on special effects and computer-generated effects than practical effects, which has actually made it a problem because nobody puts the same effort into it.
Example one. The prequels of Star Wars.
Look, the Star Wars prequels, those have way too much CGI. I have always said that, I always will, but at least they're attractive, and they still hold fairly well. I mean,
yeah. I mean, sure, there's a couple parts right there,
but at least there was some real good effort that went into it for most of that. I mean, there's way too much of it. I won't argue that, but it's there, and it does look good. Woo! So, now I'm a huge fan of the prequels. I love Star Wars, and I love the prequels.
I think we're not talking about prequels. I think we're talking about Godzilla.
Yes, but this motherfucker's got to take every opportunity to be hating on the prequels.
I was just giving out an example. When you were getting off that entire speech about, let's see, like Jurassic Park being first.
No, I'm just saying you can't.
Therefore, I give out the example of when you know it's too much.
No, I'm saying I'm trying to make the contrast because Christian's like, oh well, it was a product of its time. Fuck its time. They just didn't do a good job, and I don't want them to get away with it because you can do a good job even after that would mean.
Then that would mean, let's see, not video, almost any other movie that's prior in its past, and yet you know it comes from its own source material. you will criticize it, let's see, just because it's because of that time alone, meaning it's inferior.
No, if
it's inferior than the ones that are actually being remade now.
No,
That's what you're saying in your criticism.
I'm saying that when it comes to art like that, you can either put some real good effort into it, or you can't. And Jurassic Park was an example of putting excellent effort into it, and you can see it in the work even to this day. It still holds its own, and still holds its own against animation of today. They didn't put the same kind of effects into the 1998 one, and for it doesn't look good even now. It didn't. That's the thing you got to remember. Like, if they do a good job, it will hold its own. But we look back and like, you know what? They could have done better. I mean, they had lots of tie-ins though with that movie. That's the thing. They marketed the shit out of it. It's like you didn't even need the movie. They had a animated TV series because that's what we were doing in the late 90s. If there was a movie, it needed a cartoon.
Well, pretty much see we already pretty much see right now, just based on the marketing right now, of Godzilla being already released at this very moment. Let's see, like box office was not pretty much see they weren't even expecting to make that much, and yet they already announced to see the sequel coming up.
All right. Well, yeah, there's another.
That's like the only good part right there. Okay, Godzilla's getting a sequel. They announced it. Good job for that.
Yeah. All right. No, I'm just saying. I mean, I haven't checked out the Toy Story House, but the thing with the '98 one was they marketed it like, maybe I'm more susceptible because my parents got me like all kinds of shit back then for it.
Pretty much as you.
I'm not going to say anything about 1998 Godzilla. I'm going to talk about this Godzilla movie, which when I heard a very common negative to most people, but I can understand why. The most common negative of this new Godzilla movie is that they show less of Godzilla, and when they do, you see him roar, and then
I pretty much do have to be in that type of defense about that type of negative. It's because if anybody's seen Pacific Rim last year, everybody pretty much got the whole cake right there in front of them. See the fights with the robots along with monsters, and yet when Godzilla was announced, and also they come in to see it, pretty much the entire film was pretty much teasing us right there. We want to see Godzilla. We want to see the fight. Everything else, we all get frustrated. But it's because we were all spoiled by Pacific Rim, and that's how they did it. That's the only defense I have for the negativity.
Yeah, Saul makes an excellent point. I mean, when you think about the first Jaws movie, if you look back on it, there's so little that you actually see the shark, and that seems to be the formula they went with this one. Like, you didn't even know there was going to be any other monsters, and then you're like, oh, that makes sense, there's monsters.
I'm going to say with Jaws' defense, the reason why it showed less of Jaws because the damn shark couldn't work. And when it did...
Yeah, that I know, but the movie was better for it for some reason because it built more suspense. And I think that works in this movie's favor. Yeah, they have a lot more of the other monsters and people than they did actually Godzilla, but...
And I think, this is my theory, I'm going to put out a theory why they kind of went up to this with this approach to it. I have a theory to why they went to this. Because I think with many people, the first introduction to Godzilla is not with the Toho movies. It was with the 1998 Godzilla movie. I'm just putting it out there. It was probably due to that. And I think, okay, well, how can we produce that? Well, let's just keep on teasing the shit out of this, and with the sequel, we'll make it better. That's my theory to it. The reason why they keep on teasing the shit out of it, because the common people they don't know who the fuck Godzilla is except for that 1998 piece of shit. That's what the people know it from.
Except for the people who actually know are Godzilla fans.
Yeah.
That's the other thing.
And I think that was what people who are big Godzilla fans were so disappointed because we seen all these Godzilla movies. We seen Godzilla versus Mothra, Godzilla versus King Ghidorah, Godzilla versus Mega. Who gives a fuck? Who gives what the fuck ever? We don't. The filmmaker was trying to do was not trying to make another Godzilla monster mash, bullshit movie. Kind of how Pacific Rim was.
Anyway, let's see. I do want to bring up to this point. Let's see. How did you guys feel to see about Bryan Cranston only been shown, let's see, for about 15, 30 minutes into the film? How do you guys feel about that?
I wasn't really disappointed. I do gotta say that, I did kind of feel sad, and I'm like, no, I want Walter White versus Godzilla. I want to make that fucking exploding mess that he did in that one episode. I want to make that big giant cracked rock and just drop it.
I mean,
oh yeah, fighting. Crack saves the day.
Math, actually. But I'm gonna say this. Let's see, I will say this. Bryan Cranston pretty much did kill most of the film. Even though he was there only for a few scenes and also possibly only 15, 30 minutes into the film, he actually did kill the performance much better than whoever the actor is from Kick-Ass. Because honestly, let's see, he let his wife die right there during that nuke.
Yeah, it really was one of those things. He was waiting for it, but he had to shut it. He knew what he was doing when he shut it, and then she comes right up to his face, and then she dies in front of him.
I'm gonna say that man
feels.
I'm gonna say that man from Malcolm in the Middle, then Breaking Bad. I gotta say that was a good with Bryan Cranston.
Yeah, he's a great actor. I've never seen him do anything I didn't like, and I love what he did. And he did it in an interesting way, whereas, yeah, he's obsessed. Yeah, he's clearly crazy, and maybe right, whatever. That's not important. He's clearly fucking crazy here.
I was kind of suspecting him to come with his underwear on, going, "I'm not crazy."
I'm surprised we didn't do it because I heard something his managers have him slip into every one of his contracts that he has to be able to do some sort of a semi-nude scene because he likes to be naked on camera for some reason or something like that. What does he have? And you don't see him in his underwear in this that I'm aware of that I can think back on.
Not that I know of. Not that.
Yeah, I don't think so. But then they kill him off, and it was yeah, he was right, but he was mostly really crazy through it, and he just obsessed over finding out why his wife was dead, and then he found out, and then, oh well. And I think that made sort of a beautiful tragedy sort of thing. If you're going to have him in there for 15 minutes, that's a damn good 15 minutes.
Yeah, pretty much.
And also, if you want to listen to what I give it on, you can check it on my YouTube channel, Comic Prices at E1, where I do a random movie review of it. You can check it out. You'll click a like. That's right. I did a plug-in.
Oh, you shameless bastard.
I'm whoring myself, damn it.
You're doing a fine job of it. Okay.
Okay.
The next one I think is it should be me and Saul doing not me and Saul, but pretty much Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Take it away. Already got the spoiler.
Oh yeah, Nick, spoiler. Gwen Stacy died at the end.
What is there to talk about? Let's see, Amazing Spider-Man. Let's see, I'm hearing a lot of mixed reviews about it. I mean, based on my own opinion, let's see, it actually did surprise me. Like, I did see it on opening day, and yet it was, well, opening night. It's actually not that bad. I mean, like, the only thing I could say, like, kind of wish to see they cut some parts, especially the romantic ones. And, like, between, let's see, and, between Peter Parker and Gwen Stacy, I kind of wish they actually did cut those. And, well, at least cut a couple scenes, that's what I'm saying. And also, I kind of wish to see the introduction for Green Goblin. Green Goblin and the Rhino. I wish they held it till the end of till the
next movie.
Till the next movie.
Well,
I just wish they did that.
So technically they did the Rhino. Technically they did.
Actually,
we're gonna have to wait for the next movie. Is it the Rhino?
Oh, guess what? Guess who wins the fight? Spider-Man does.
You may never know. Shh.
So what do you want? So what are you gonna say? You're gonna say that the Vulture swoops in, grabs Spider-Man out of that fight, and probably steals that kid who is trying to stand up against the Rhino? Is that what you're trying to say?
Spoilers, all spoilers.
Doesn't matter. The movie's only been spoiled to death right now at the moment. Okay. But I'm gonna say this. Let's see, based on my own opinion and also how it is, I give it a positive review because it actually surprised me. It surpassed the first Amazing Spider-Man a whole lot.
I'm gonna say I came into the Amazing Spider-Man 2 as like, well, this is going to suck. I only came here for morbid curiosity, and also when I hear like my girlfriend said, "Hey, I want to go see Amazing Spider-Man 2," like, okay, we're gonna go see it. I want to see it out of morbid curiosity, and I'm gonna say I'm not the world's biggest fan of the first Amazing Spider-Man. I'm more a bigger fan of the Sam Raimi films because I love those to death. But that's beside the point. And when I did saw like the first Amazing Spider-Man, I'm like, wow, this is so a very needless origin story. We should have skipped a year ahead to see Peter Parker being Spider-Man, yay, and whatnot. So I came into Amazing Spider-Man 2, and I'm like, okay, well, here goes the sucking. And I was so surprised. I'm like, wow, I'm actually really enjoying this movie. I'm actually really loving the hell out of this movie. And it's because they grew up. They actually made Spider-Man grow up a little more. And it was. I think that was the big thing about it. It was actually seeing Spider-Man actually being Spider-Man. He was not being some little twerp, being a fucking little dick about, like, oh, I'm doing crime and shit. No, he was being Spider-Man. I'm like, this I wanted the first one. Yes! It was so much fun. Although I gotta say, it did feel really too long. Although it was like 2 hours of a movie, it still felt too long. I felt they could have shortened it a bit. The other thing I gotta say, the introduction to Electro, it was a good introduction compared to like, oh, he's a dude that shoots electricity. Huzzah! To his comic form. At least over here, they give him some kind of thing, I guess.
I mean, I do have to add one addition. See, Jamie Foxx being Electrode. I mean, I gotta say, let's see, his performance was, I can't say it's spot on, but let's see, he was fun to watch. That's the only thing I can say. He was fun to watch.
He was fun.
Except for him being the creepy,
creepy stalker.
Yeah, the creepy obsessed stalker for Spider-Man. That's the only thing I can say. But when his moment showed up for when his moment to shine, let's see, for being Electro, pretty much he was the fun thing to watch.
The other thing I have to say was the fucking music. When it was all when Electro was when it was when he was still like being a dude and was still kind of being Electro during like his 15 minutes of fame. Like that fucking bumbling music from apparently the same guy who was doing the Superman movie with that one bumbling stooge just came over here and goes each time we see fucking Electrode. I'm like, and when he sees the fucking villain form, why are you playing this music for this right now?
However, let's see, like, There's several things I actually liked with the movie. It's pretty much to see the visuals, especially the CGI. The CGI visuals alone pretty much caught my attention a lot. It's very colorful, and pretty much see it like, especially the ripples of the Spider-Man suit when he was jumping off the skyscraper alone. Pretty much felt like, let's see, yeah, I am falling through air.
It did feel that one Spider-Man ride in Universal. I gotta say, and you know what? I love that. I love this movie so much that I can't wait to come out on Blu-ray so I can just buy it. And that's a surprising to say. And now our last movie review. Or is there anything else you want to add, Saul?
Not really. Let's see, I don't have anything else to add. Oh yeah, by the way, Gwen Stacy dies at the end.
Oh, Nick, Gwen Stacy dies at the end.
Should we explain why you motherfuckers insist on saying this over and over again?
I don't know. Let's see.
Yeah, in context. Okay, me and Saul goes to this comic book club during on Tuesdays. And pretty much like Saul called Nick like, "Hey Nick, want to join with us?" "Yeah, sure."
Should we even give this history lesson to everybody for them to listen?
Sure, why not? So essentially, I come in to join the group. Now I've been there before, but not frequently because I work
and
whatnot, pretty much. And so everybody's we're about to go into a discussion and I'm like the only one in the room that hasn't seen the movie yet. And so one of the guys hosting it says, "Spoiler alert." Okay, well, I haven't seen it. Maybe I'll see it. A lot of people seem to like it. So I stand up to go walk out of the room, like, okay, I don't need to be part. And then this girl sitting across from me says, "What? It's not like anyone in this room doesn't know that Gwen Stacy dies."
Thank you for adding that plug in, Mr. Sound Effects Man.
I was getting up to leave the room. Like, okay, I know that at some point in the comic she did die, and like they're going to have to put Mary Jane in at some point, so she probably will. I didn't know that though yet.
And they could have just changed it, like in the Ultimate Universe.
Yeah,
Gwen Stacy's still alive.
Yeah, I mean she survived the last film series, so it's on the table. I mean, she really wasn't there, but like, thank you.
Is there anything else?
Why do you keep asking me if there's anything
No,
else?
I'm just making sure if there's anything else to like that.
Okay, end segment. We're done on that one.
No.
Captain
America.
Captain America.
Like, Winter Soldier.
You see that yet?
No, I have not seen that one yet.
Okay, well, we'll go into that one now. I love that film.
Me too.
I liked the first one. It was cool, and it's grown on me more as I've rewatched it. But this new one, it was hardcore. It had that like political suspense edge that I like, and it used Captain America in awesome ways. It had what's her name?
Black Widow.
No, who is it that plays Black Widow?
Scarlett Johansson.
Oh yes, her juicy.
Nick, calm down. Calm down. Stop pulling your dick.
Nick, hide it away. Hide it away. Nobody wants to see it. Please.
Hey, if it busts out of my pants, it busts out of my pants.
I'm just gonna get out of the room. Okay.
No, you're sitting here with me.
She is so yummy. I mean, absolutely.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
And she plays an excellent Black Widow. I mean, you can never get a real read on her personality. She's an absolute badass. She's got awesome weapons. And she's ultra intelligent. I mean, like, she's a great character overall. Like, where the fuck is her movie?
Let me tell you. Not now.
Yeah, clearly. Like,
next Avengers, probably.
I hope so, but
probably after.
The only thing with it is it doesn't feel so much like a Captain America movie as it does sort of a S.H.I.E.L.D. movie. A movie, because it really is more a movie about S.H.I.E.L.D. than Captain America. The plot revolves completely around it. Like, even as far as saving the day. You have Captain America, sort of Falcon guy. I don't know. I don't know if he's supposed to be the Falcon.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, because they've got this little thing in the new Spider-Man movies. Like, are they going to be tying that in with this?
No. That's the Vulture. This is the Falcon.
Okay. There's clearly a difference.
Yes, there is.
Okay.
There's the Vulture and there's the Falcon.
Okay, well, we got the Falcon, Captain America, and
Black
Widow, as well as Nick Fury, and a whole bunch of S.H.I.E.L.D. agents, and like they're all saving the day together. Like, okay, I still loved it. It's still a great job. It has, the plot twists aren't like ultra secretive. You can figure them out pretty easily, but it's still very interesting. It gives you a few surprises.
Well, I think this is where I had to kind of disagree with you. Like, and you figure it out, like, well, I guess in a way, yes, but like to figure out who the active villain was, which is, spoiler alert, is Hydra.
Oh my!
But see, the thing about it is like, we thought Hydra is dead. Like, in a way, like, I guess, and it's like, yeah, Hydra would probably be back, but like, they're S.H.I.E.L.D. That, that's a pretty big plot twist, if you ask me. And that it probably does affect the entire Marvel universe. So not like, that.
Yeah, it's really going to have have an effect on the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. series because they've already finished off the first season, but they're going to come up with the next one because that was a brilliant series. It's a brilliant series, and I really enjoyed it.
It's really good.
It gets better. It gets even better as you watch through. And they're going to have more Avengers films, and of course they're going to have to tie S.H.I.E.L.D. in more to that, if only at the end of the movie.
The one thing I gotta say, when I was watching the movie, I was both like, I was really excited for it, but at the same time, I was just really kind of scared for it. Because I was watching the trailers, it looks too actiony for me. And some of that's good, but like, the entire storyline is loosely based on is the Winter Soldier, written by Edward Baker. And the way in that kind of tone it was like a big espionage, like an actual spot. You like reading an actual.
Yeah, that's what this movie was. It really was more an espionage.
But see, I thought I was not gonna get that, like a big action, which at the same time I would have mind, but like I thought it's gonna be it's not gonna be as that good as the computer comic. Mm-hmm. But it carried that through that entire espionage. Like, yes, thank you. Like, it carried that tone, and I really enjoyed that. And also, I do have to say, like, during like the entire 30 minutes, the one thing I'm thinking, like, man, this is an awesome G.I. Joe movie. It is, if you think about it.
It is.
Captain America's Duke. The the Black Widow is Scarlet, and Nick Fury is Roadblock, or the Falcon could be Roadblock. Either way, and Nick Fury, he could be the one general dude. Huzzah!
Yeah, literally. We haven't gotten a really decent G.I. Joe film, but this actually could have been a decent G.I. Joe film.
You know what? In the last 30 minutes, it was a G.I. Joe movie for me. And also, the big surprise at the end that you found out that Bucky is still alive.
Oh. Well, you kind of ruined that for me.
No, I didn't. I think it was Saul that did.
No, it was you. You told us. Yeah, you ruined it for both of us at the same time. Like, actually, the Winter Soldier is.
I did?
Yes, you have.
Yeah, you did.
Well,
that's actually his friend from the first movie who died on the train. Like, it wasn't really like a pivotal plot point. Like, you can survive going in knowing that.
I see, like most of us who really didn't catch up with the comics, so pretty much see we all come in to see the film because we want to see it. That was it. So pretty much we have no idea or no clues. So therefore, someone who actually has the knowledge of the comics, they're willing to spoil everything.
My bad. Well, it could have been worse, Nick. I couldn't spoil for you that Gwen Stacy died at Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Alright, I think that drug just ran dry.
Thank you.
Oh.
No, but it really was a good film, and they really are. I think they are getting better with these Marvel films. I mean,
It's been really good.
yeah, they've really managed to like improve on themselves. I mean, I don't really know if you would say the third Iron Man film was better than the first two, but
I would say, to me, the first one is always going to be like the very best. The third Iron Man movie is close second. I put like the second one and last. It's still good, but it feels like it had the Ghostbuster 2 syndrome where like we're doing kind of the same thing. We have something changed here and there, but overall it's basically kind of the same thing, trying to capture that same tone where it's like, it's still good, it's still fun, but you kind of expect like a little more out of it.
yeah, it really is. But well, at least they have consistency where they're learning where they can make improvements. I mean, I really like this because we all went and saw Thor 2 together. And we enjoyed ourselves. I mean, there was that whole thing in it where they were kind of like...
That was the best Portal movie I've ever seen.
that was the best Star Wars movie in
No.
years.
It was the best Mighty Morphin Power Ranger movie, motherfuckers. Yeah.
All the above.
Speaking of Marvel, Power Rangers, they actually are rebooting the entire series on a brand new movie.
Yeah, I heard about that.
It might be good.
Who knows? But that's the only thing I got. I got nothing else.
Yeah, I heard about that. I can't think of.
I mean, honestly, the thing is, Power Rangers is so cheesy. Like, if they rebooted, like,
Just
really.
It kind of probably may lose that kind of charm where like, well, we're gonna make it more dark and gritty. Who knows? Maybe dark and gritty can be really good.
You know what? I'd rather have to see that whole '90s cheese again, but just for the class, just only for just for the people to know what the old class Power Rangers was. That's it.
Yeah,
I'd rather have just that old '90s cheese.
No, you want to do yourself a favor? Go back and watch the series on Netflix.
Yeah, it's on Netflix.
Yeah, it actually, and I'm a little freaked to say, like, it can still hold its own. I mean, you really realize, looking back, and like, oh, wow, they really used a lot of someone else's footage in this, and yeah, a lot of it's like,
but that was like
you really got to endure.
That was more during the first, I want to say the first 2 seasons, I guess. But then kind of later on, they
went into their own thing, and it became its own thing. But yeah, they literally have like 50 episodes that are like
Japanese
cut, edit, paste.
I remember what you know what, that does make a whole lot of sense. And I kind of watching when it was the dragons were come up like rising above and like, wait,
this looks familiar.
I just said
yeah, it really does look like a Godzilla entrance, and then you look at Rita Repulsar and all those little things around her, like the little blue monkey guy. He looked distinctly Asian too, and you never really like, oh, wait a second, all these motherfuckers are Asian. That's why.
Okay, right. I think we're done with our movie reviews. Now on to the news.
Well, I do have, let's see, one final thing to put down. Who's like, are we all going to agree? Let's see, we're all going to watch the Days of Future Past soon. I mean, it actually did. Today is opening day for them.
Yes, well, yeah.
It's opening night, so pretty much to see who's going to be able to watch the Days of Future Past.
Well, I don't think we're going to be doing it right now, as it's 4 a.m. So I think the opening storm's like already looking close on that one, so I think we missed it. But
well, unless you're the ones who happen to see this, what was it called? Yeah, the midnight showing, of course. If you guys end up watching the early midnight showing, lucky you guys. We're gonna be able to see it soon enough. Yep. And then we'll give out our thoughts later.
Yeah, because I want to see that. Yeah,
I do want to see it. I don't know when I'm actually going to see that movie. So yeah, now on to our news segment.
We can't get a sound effect, can we? You can't do it.
We can't do it because, see, really, we have someone who's doing something really crappy for a change.
Okay, well.
Now you want to start first, or you want me?
Does anyone else have any real world news that they're aware of?
Well,
by all means, go ahead.
I have some movie news. Did that count?
No. Shoot.
Okay.
Shoot.
Well, for those who, it was during this week where I try to remember who. I think it was Max Landis who put on his Twitter page that apparently Marvel has the rights to brought back Spider-Man, which we all know is kind of bullshit. But the way I kind of thought about it, maybe, just maybe, instead of getting into the Spider-Man rights later for maybe the next 20 to 30 years, there could be a possibility. It's a very long possibility, but we might could actually get it sooner. I'm not talking about the next day or the next month, but who knows? Maybe in the next 5 years, we probably could get back that Spider-Man movie rights. And I do have some evidence to back me up on this. I do. Okay. See, there've been news from what I heard of that Sony has been selling their stocks, which is not that good at all. And I think
oh my.
I think one of the biggest selling stocks they've been made was they sell Square Enix.
Whoa! All right, this is some news to me right now. As it is.
Yeah, I think it was I want to say it was $5 million. Now, and what also another thing that we kind of heard of that the Spider-Man movies has not they're doing good, but not Sam Raimi's Spider-Man movies good. When I checked out, the first Spider-Man movie, it made box office opening was $114 million. Oh. Now today nowadays, $114 million. That's nothing. The first but the Amazing Spider-Man movie, which I did found out, made in the first opening box office made $76 million.
That's half.
Exactly. And you know what? I do have a theory on this. Now, before, around the early 2000s, see, when Spider-Man came about, what were the first comic book movies? During time to make a bit of a comeback. There was Blade that came first, then X-Men, and then Spider-Man. Spider-Man was the new kid. He came about and made that money. And if you really think about it, Sony had nothing to worry about. And then second Spider-Man made about $94 million, which, the Amazing Spider-Man made about $97 million. But then Spider-Man 3 came about and made about it surpassed the first Spider-Man movie, which was I think $154 million in the first box opening weekend. But see, like I said, those Spider-Man movies had nothing to worry about because think about it. If you really, really think about it, what was the competition like back in that? You had the X-Men movies, you had the Blade movies, and then you have the Hulk, Ghost Rider, Daredevil.
Well, Fantastic Four came out after that.
Oh, and there you go, Fantastic Four. And now, some years later came by. And The Dark Knight came about, Iron Man, and you know when exactly the Amazing Spider-Man came out? Literally in the same summer that both The Avengers and The Dark Knight Rises came out. Now, like I said...
Yeah, that's some competition there.
See, right now, we're in an age, in this golden era, where, now, we're having some really good comic movies. Back then, Spider-Man, I can give two shits. Watch me crap out $100 million. That's why, you have to really... that's what really have to worry about. But now, the competition is one more step from that. Right now, we're having, a news that, think about it. Next year going to come out, The Avengers 2, Star Wars Episode 7, As much you can say that, Nick, there's so much thing coming out like next year. Spider-Man, like I said, it's not right now. I think that Sony gonna like sell their Spider-Man rights to Marvel. And, speaking of which, the Marvel's movie rights? I bet you anything that gonna probably cost a little bit. They're gonna cost a bit more because they gotta pay them back some royalties about that. So, like I said before, maybe not right now, maybe not next month, but I bet you anything, probably the next 5 to maybe 10 years, we're going to see Spider-Man back in Marvel hands.
Okay, I'm working with that. Okay, anything else you got?
Well, how this? We go back and forth, so you go.
So that's a yes. Okay. First of my stories tonight. The GM recall. General Motors, a big production company of engines and various other mechanical devices, they produce a lot of different vehicles out there, and they just got in a whole heaping mess of trouble because it turns out they've been producing some extremely dangerous products for about 10 years now. They have literally been aware of faulty equipment, like faulty starters that have knocked out and just conked out while people were driving, and they were aware that this was a problem. And when that goes out, then power steering, airbags, power brakes, those all go out at the same time. So there's like, in 10 years, there were like 13 deaths attributed. And that's just the one issue.
So, Nick, what you're saying is...
Yeah, this year they've had like, 24, 27 recalls issued so far this year.
So, Nick, what you're saying is this is bad.
This is very bad, and this is so bad, even the government regulators came in and said, hey, you shouldn't be doing that. They actually slapped them with, like a $50 million fine or something like that? I don't know the exact numbers. It's a pittance anyway. We need these kind of government regulations on these industries because otherwise these motherfuckers are going to sell shit to us. It's going to kill us.
So, Nick, what you're saying is it's bad.
It's bad. I swear to God, if Fruit of the Loom could save money by putting razor blades in their underwear, they would do it. You literally, because you think to yourself, no, you don't need a law. These motherfuckers will fucking do it. They're about their bottom line. Like, if they save enough money to actually make it worthwhile, they're going to do it. So we need to have proper fines in place. General Motors is responsible for a lot of deaths, a lot of damage, a lot of insurance claims, and a lot of problems. They've done this. They've done this knowingly. They've done this willingly. And that's something that needs to be made a note of.
Alright, okay. Now we can finally discuss Batman vs. Superman, Dawn of Justice. Woo!
Don't.
The only thing I can say is that finally they have a name.
And it might be okay or mediocre. Huzzah! Oh, but I do like the other title, which is the entire DC universe featuring Batman. But and also so yeah, let's kind of discuss about all this since they finally said like who's rebooting Batman? Ben Affleck. We see the costume reveal and looks not that bad, looks pretty good, and we finally had a title. And since now David S. Goyer, who's also the writer of pretty much the Dark Knight the Dark Knight trilogy, and also this particular movie, and also Man of Steel, has some really good thing on the podcast, which was She-Hulk was he compared She-Hulk to a porn star.
I don't know about you. That makes me more interested in a She-Hulk movie. Well, she wears some fairly restrictive clothes, and I like a strong girl. One thing I do want to know, will this new Batman-Superman movie be tied in with Man of Steel at all?
Pretty much, yeah.
Oh, Lordy.
It's
a sequel.
Oh, Lordy.
Including, let's see, Wonder Woman.
Oh, Wonder Woman's
Martian
going to be in there?
Martian Manhunter, The Flash. I think Aquaman might be in there. I'm not quite sure yet. Who else?
I'm gonna be honest. To see like them announcing this type of series is like it's too soon. I mean, see like why would introduce the Justice League movie?
Because DC
I mean,
and Warner Brothers want to get caught up with Marvel.
I understand. I understand they want to do that. They want to caught up with Marvel because they're doing the Avengers, and also since they're also doing another group movie, Guardians of the Galaxy. I understand that, but I still believe that pretty much Man of Steel should need more time to develop before they end up doing that.
Yeah, since you know that a great ending to Man of Steel. Gonna kill you, Zod. Shh. Lowan! And I shall fly off. Da, 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 da.
What a hero.
Hey, what do you expect? Man of Steel pretty much gave me new light, new perspective for Clark Kent.
He's a murderer.
Oh, don't forget Mr. Kent. He's an asshole. See, this is what I'm afraid of with the Star Wars movie. This is what they're going to do to him.
But the difference is between this. You have David S. Goyer, who's you can say he's not a bad writer. I mean, he wrote, I guess, the story or the story concept. He had some involvement with the Dark Knight trilogy in some way or fashion. He did direct that one, that one Blade 3 movie. Yeah, he directed that Blade 3 movie. I guess
Trinity.
Yeah, and well, he did make that comment about She-Hulk being compared to a porn star. Yeah, exactly. Okay. See, I want to say before. I was defending a bit of Man of Steel. I was, you know what? Besides the ending, which David S. Goyer and Zack Snyder say, hey, you know what? Let's just have a big fucking battle scene because the original ending is like, oh, they go into the Phantom Zone. It's not quite good enough, apparently. So they have that, and yeah, that's you, and the result right over there. I would say, you know what? It's the first half is pretty good. Then I read Superman Secret Origins, and so you know what? This could be a movie. This has everything just like that Man of Steel does, except I feel like I'm more hopeful between this Superman compared to the other one. Fuck that movie. What I'm gonna say, like, does anyone have any opinion about Ben Affleck being Batman and also his costume?
Joe. Well, the only thing I can say is, see, like, I see what they're trying to do with the costume, really. Like, since the photos were leaked out and everything else, see, it does look at the Frank Miller style. Like, we haven't seen, like, the only thing I don't know, let's see how the finished product will be. I'm waiting for the film. So, I mean, let's see, like, the costume looks almost identical to the Frank Miller, The Dark Knight Returns. That's it. But I'm gonna be hopeful on this movie to see, like, if they're gonna like Ben Affleck will be pretty much will capture the of him being an experienced Batman.
As far as I don't really check out the costume too much in depth. I mean, when it comes to me, if it's Batman, it's Batman. It just needs to be a proper representation. I don't get hung up on the costume too much.
Yeah, you know, unless there's nipples.
Yeah, that wasn't necessary. Bat nipples aren't necessary.
Badass.
Yeah, those aren't necessary. But as far as a lot of people are upset about Ben Affleck, you know what? Ben Affleck's a fantastic actor. He's a fantastic writer. He does a really good job. I mean,
and a fantastic director.
Yeah, a fantastic director too. I mean, when it comes down to it, yeah, Daredevil, yes, it was not that good.
But it's not his fault.
Yeah, I mean, I say you got to give a lot of these actors, like, even with those Batman films in question, like, that's direction. I mean, with the Star Wars people, like, that's direction. I mean, Natalie Portman, Ewan McGregor, Samuel L. Jackson, excellent actors with multiple Emmys, or whatever the award is.
I think
Academy Award, whatever. and a lot of them just didn't really deliver a very good performance in those roles. But that's the director. Like,
yeah, that's George Lucas' fault.
yeah, I'll get. Yeah, I'll be honest. A lot of the problems in the prequels were directly from George Lucas, and not the elements around him. But I think if you give Ben Affleck a good director, a good script, he can give you gold. I know he can. I've seen it before. I've seen it a dozen times. I mean, it really comes down to it when it comes to comic book movies. It really is the execution. Because George Clooney, excellent fucking actor. I love him. He's one of my favorite Hollywood liberal elitists.
And also another great director too.
But as Batman,
well, you can't blame him for that. Like,
yeah, you can't blame him for that. People like to make fun of him, like, oh, what a great Batman he was.
Well,
look at everything else in the film.
I actually did read an article. I'm trying to think what I think it was from oneofus.net. I want to say it was from oneofus.net and say, who is like the best and the worst Batman? George Clooney is not the worst Batman.
No.
Val Kilmer technically is. If you really truly think about it, because there's a scene of where pretty much that motherfucker goes like, Harvey, I am Batman. If you really truly think about that scene, he's a bad Batman.
Yeah, so you give it that, but I'm hopeful for it. I mean, the fact that it ties in with the Superman films, like, oh, it's DOA probably, but it might be salvageable. But
I'm not getting much hope for that.
Yeah,
I'm not. The way the DC is compared to Marvel, both in movies and also comics. See, before DC only had the Dark Knight, the whole Dark Knight trilogy. That was what they're working off of. They were still good till then. Then the new 52 reboot came along. Like that's what it's like. Wow, like I've been hearing nothing but shit after shit after shit. At least with Marvel, like now, they're trying something new. Like they say, you know what? Let's just be here. You know what? Let's hire all these Indian writers and just let them all go at it. DC, on the hand, like we need more dramatic, more punching, more bullshit. And also, I have to say, Ben Affleck, as Batman, is not a bad idea because he's a brilliant director.
He's a brilliant actor. He's a brilliant writer,
and you know what? He could direct Batman. Let's think about that. Ben Affleck could direct Batman. That's to me like one of the best things I've heard since ever, possibly.
Yeah, that would be interesting to see. Direct and star, and he can do all of them at the same time. So, yeah, I'd actually watch that still. It's the tie into the Superman that scares me. That's about it. But we're gonna find out. Anyway, but is it my turn yet?
Yep.
Okay, here's an interesting little story I heard of that sounds pretty fucking stupid. You guys know the artist Macklemore, right?
Macklemore?
Yeah, he does the song Thrift Shop.
Sorry, I don't keep up with current shit.
I'm sorry, but who?
Macklemore. He does. Okay, you motherfuckers don't know. He does a couple songs. He had a little popular. I'll show you to you later, but he's doing pretty good right now. But he's basically one of those goofy, over the top. He's kind of like a male version of Lady Gaga. He's got a goofy hairdo. He wears weird clothes, and he likes to dress in costumes. Now, apparently, he's gotten in a little trouble because he did a show a couple nights ago where he started singing his hit song "Thrift Shop" in a costume.
It was a penis costume.
No, that probably would have went over better. This was a Jewish costume.
Oh shit! I heard about that.
Yes, I mean he had it all. Like he had the big nose, the big fake goofy beard, the crop top bald spot, the Jewishy outfit, and a big crook curved in nose that would have made Barbara Streisand jealous.
Was there pennies around? Was there pennies?
I don't know. I haven't. But apparently, like, a lot of people got upset by this terrible exploitation of the stereotype of the Jew. Boo-hoo! I'm sorry, but like, oh Jesus, this guy is so goofy and out there. Like, really, you're gonna get offended by this?
I mean, take a look at PETA right now when they're attacking the Pokemon games. I said, take a look at PETA attacking the Pokemon games.
Oh boy, I haven't seen that yet, but like, oh boy.
And also, let's see, Mari wearing the Tanuki suit.
Yeah, but
I remember those names.
No, and he doesn't. It's not like he did the song in a really goofy voice. It's just a costume. And yes, it's about buying cheap stuff at a thrift shop. Big fucking whoop. I mean, he actually issued a release.
Is he actually Jewish?
I don't know. I thought he was, but nobody seems to be commenting that he is. Like, but you know what? It's just a little gimmick here. I mean, he actually issued a release of a formal apology, all written, of course, and it's like a lot of people are taking it seriously. A lot don't know if they should. It is so standard and atypical. It's like he says, "Oh no, I love people. I would never do anything to hurt anyone. I am so sad if my display made anyone feel bad. Please don't take this personally. What I did was an awful thing. Like, I didn't think of that it would be taken this way beforehand. Like, it was a pretty thick costume. Like, if you didn't think that anyone would get upset, but you know what? He's allowed to dress up however the fuck he wants. He's not hurting anyone. He's not saying Jews are awful. He's in a costume.
So you want to make sure, like, he didn't do, like, any kind of voices, like...
No, he just had a very thick costume that was very stereotypical, granted, but you know what? He's not actually trying to make anyone look bad. And you know what? The guy does a lot of goofy jokes. Why are we gonna... If he comes out in, like, a Jedi robe, am I supposed to get all offended? Because he's singing some song about being a fanboy?
I get what you mean, and it's always, I guess I can see why people get offended by it. And the way I kind of, like, I guess the way presented it kind of like this is like how someone would, you know, who's white comes in out of nowhere with, like, blackface all over her face.
Yeah, well, even that way, I mean, yeah, I mean, but
it's like I understand what you're getting at, but the thing is, see, I'm just gonna say this. Let's see, like I don't know, the most common people will be. Let's see, like you kind of know there's a limit there.
Oh, you know, there's some people are gonna get pissed off.
Well, people are gonna get pissed off anyway. Anything or anyhow, people get pissed off over anything. Pretty much, say, take a look at the demographic right now. How we are, like how pretty much all the young people are at right now at this moment.
I would rather not.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, but yeah. So I think this really is a case of being oversensitive. No, he doesn't need to. I don't think he needs to put out an apology.
I think it's just more his bad taste of it.
Bad taste for what? It's not like he had any Nazis on stage whacking him with a stick. He's just in a costume.
See, it's funny when I look at that, like, oh, it's a Jewish person singing, I guess. I don't know. Never that thought of, like, until you tell me about this.
Literally no funny voices going on. He's doing it in his regular voice.
I mean, okay, I guess somebody else out there who I guess can explain. I get what Nick is trying to say, and like I said, the only thing I feel like maybe it is more in bad taste than anything. And you know what? Maybe it is a little bit oversensitive, but at the same time, maybe someone out there can just explain it. Gives us do a little more. then we'd be like, okay, you know what? Fair enough.
Well, how about this? Like, okay, the Jews have been persecuted. They've been hurt. You know what else? What other group has had some shit? The Native Americans. They have really been fucked over pretty royally. But what did we just do? We just created a movie about the Lone Ranger and then put, oh lordy,
Johnny Depp
as a Native American.
And he says, like, oh, I'm this much a Native American. It's like 15%. Like, no, that's not enough.
I'm like 150 something. Like 7 generations ago, there was a Native American. That doesn't necessarily make me part of the tribe. But how is that not offensive? And I mean, Johnny Depp really lays it on with the stereotypical bullshit. And like, nobody else finds that offensive, and that's actually promoted specifically that way. They made the focal point of that movie around Johnny Depp, beginning, middle, end, and he's pretty much the main badass of the film. And him being this stereotypical Native American character, contrast, we have a guy singing a song that he's very popular for in a costume. There's a contrast, a challenge to anyone out there to think it over if you have an answer, because where's the line there? Like, because I don't know. I mean, Johnny Depp's character, that could be perceived as a little racist because he is really goofy, his normal self, and he's walking around the entire thing with a crow on his head and he's talking to it. Is that a positive representation of the Native American peoples?
Hey, we need to know.
I didn't say anything about accurate, I just said positive. We don't even need to get into accuracy of stereotypes, but you're next.
Why you coming to me? Dude, I'm tired. Okay, it's late. It's only 4:30 in the morning.
Okay, the last thing I have over here is Star Wars Episode 7.
That's our news story?
The last one.
That's the entire one, which is, pretty much Disney pretty much buying the rights, buying the whole thing is LucasArts.
No, they closed LucasArts, but Disney bought the rights to Star Wars from George Lucas, and he said, well, I was intending to do that the whole time. Might be true. He did sign with them, and they had the first Star Wars ride, Star Tours. But then again, they also sold the rights off for the first Star Wars TV show to Cartoon Network, which is, I believe, part of the Turner Networks. So, and they're not affiliated, so I don't know what that's up in the air because they got the new series out, and I don't believe that's going to be on Cartoon Network.
No, it's actually on Netflix. And also, they kind of J.J. Abrams show like a little video of they using practical effects, and also most of the cast of the original Star Wars, not the prequels, the actual original Star Wars, is coming in Episode 7. So now let's discuss, which I think is actually a really good move from Disney, and I think it's going to be really good because, well, I'm going to say it. I was a really, really big into Star Wars. The first, not the actual prequels.
But the original.
Saul says fuck the original, but you know what? Those 3 movies were part of my childhood. They were part of my life. And as much as visual did come out, like I was 8 years old, whatever. It was blah. Then Episode 1 came out. I was around 9. I'm like, yay, poopy, let's do this, woo! And Attack of the Clones, I'm like, yay, let's do this. And then Episode 3 came out. I'm like, alright, this is pretty cool. I kind of like this. I kind of like enjoyable. How come the dialogue here kind of sucks a bit? So awkward.
Because George Lucas had a little bit too much of a part. I mean, the storyline, I think, is still great. I think the story structure is still great. But we're getting into just the prequels. But
which is too long of itself.
Yeah, but
And I think it's a good move. They pretty much they didn't say like we're not bringing any of the spin-offs or anything that's they're putting expanded use of Star Wars. I'm like, well, that kind of sucks, but you know what? It's not
yeah,
really.
because you were never that committed a fan. Me, on the other hand, I studied the games religiously. I've read so many freaking books. I've read more Star Wars books than anything else on the freaking planet. I have a shrine of Star Wars crap, and I've spent endless hours just reading through Wikipedia, just learning shit about the Star Wars universe, and now they're just going to take all that shit, all that time they've made money off of, and willingly just sold off to me and my life, and they're going to say, nah, we don't like it anymore. Oh, look, Christian, you grew up with comic books and continuity,
and also Star Wars.
No, I'm just saying that was your big source of fandom, and comic books really don't have continuity. Like this one this week, this one the other week.
Well,
I have that.
And actually, they do. Well, Marvel is more into continuity, and
you have the yeah, they are, but
DC, but DC always reboot this shit like every
and then they have the multiverse, which is like, oh, well, here's these guys in this situation, and here's these guys in this situation, and it just throws it all up in the air and mixes it around. But these characters that I've come to learn about and read about and respect in different rights, they all are so beautifully driven, and the thing is, it's a collective work of not just like one writer. It's a lot of really talented people putting in a lot of time and effort and working with each other to make sure that the same narrative is still following through. And as you get these books that progress, it really, that's why I've had to put so much time into Wikipedia, because I needed to understand where these characters come from. I mean, we look at, we're going to have Jason and Jenna Solo in the new movies. And if you read them at the most recent incarnations, Jason's dead. He started out in just a beautiful little path of like an extremely intelligent, sharp young kid.
Nick,
shorten it down. But you need to understand his path, where he actually becomes a Sith Lord, and you have to understand why. And he does it by choice, not by accident. And he does it thinking it's the right thing. You have to understand all the things that were in his life that led him to believe that this is the right thing. You understand that he believed in his uncle Luke so much, and watched how his uncle expanded his horizons and took in so many lessons from other people. And that's what drove him to open his mind to the ways of the Sith, to expand his mind just the way his uncle did. You have to see Jenna, how she turned away from it because she was always sort of a little bitch at points. And then when her little brother Anakin died, she really hit the shit, and it just tore her and their family up. And it really left a lasting impression. I mean, we already just said earlier, in the DC universe, someone dies, oh well, it's sad for right now. No! And then meanwhile, next week, he's already back. But in Star Wars, someone dies, they're gone. It has the same effect. You feel it because they're dead. I mean, you get an occasional force spirit, but even that power wanes, and you don't. And after a point, you don't see him at all. So you're not going to have the same characters, because these are characters that are built out of experiences into something important, and it's all these little steps. And now they're like, okay, we're going to take these characters you love, but we're going to do something different. What makes these people important is where they come from.
I guess. Meanwhile, in Doctor Who, Meanwhile, in Doctor Who, oh, the audio dramas of the Eighth Doctor is actually official. Hooray! So they.
Yeah, sure.
But you know what? I get what you mean, and if that to be a loss, okay, I see your point. You know what? You're very kind of dedicated, and I get that. And I see, what? I do see your point. At the same time, though, they're making another Star Wars movie. Woo! And George Lucas is behind it. Woo!
That I enjoy, and I love J.J. Abrams, and I think he can do a real good job. But you know what? Just this whole throwing of the EU, like, what I could settle for is if, like, okay, two continuities. We have the original EU that Disney allows to be expanded on because there's some more stuff that was supposed to be done, and like I've been waiting over a year for some more books to come out, and then have, as I like to call it, the DU, the Disney universe. Like I can handle that. Like I might even be able to go into the movies, but as it stands, like I'm boycotting this shit. Like these are important fucking people in my life. Don't just take a crap on them. I mean, look what happened with Man of Steel. They turned Superman into a cold-blooded murderer. Like, we give these important characters to people that...
Zack Snyder, David S. Goyer.
Exactly, and they don't really know how to handle it. J.J. Abrams is a real fan of Star Wars. Much more so than Star Trek, I hear. And I like what they did with the new Star Trek films. And that's coming from someone that was like, fuck Star Trek, Star Wars is superior in every way. I like the new films, I did. So when it comes to, can we just let the other one continue? Like, okay, you want to do your other thing. You just spent a bunch of money on it. Really a pittance compared to how much money they're going to make off the franchise and license. And you know what? Can't you just, like, can we let the other thing go too? Let us have our two things. Let's do it. I'm compromised here. It's not... They say the books will always be there. And yeah, I have a long library to read that I haven't yet read. And why can't it continue? Why does it have to stop completely? And it has to be the way Disney wants it. I mean, George Lucas has sold out a lot when it comes to Star Wars. He's like, slap that shit on a Pringles case. I have Pringles cases purely for the fact they have Star Wars on it. But really, it's only going to be the way Disney wants it to be.
So after that soapbox, Nick, I totally get you, man. You know what? I feel for you. But at the same time, though, fuck this.
I'll grant that. Fuck